Just a few weeks after Toyota announced their big CEO shakeup, here's little brother Subaru doing the exact same thing as we go into a more electrified era. So let's get into it. Over automotive news, Subaru exec shuffle. There's a lot of things going on in the United States, but their main leader, this guy right here, is stepping into the role. Atsushi Osaki, he's 60 years old. He's replacing current CEO Tomomi Nakamoto, who's just 3 years older. And Nakamoto will be stepping into chairman, kind of similar to what Akio Toyoda is doing, right? He's stepping into that chairman board, retiring from the CEO role. The CEO shuffle is happening in June. Osaki said that flexibility and expansion will be key focal points of his tenure. And he's saying Subaru will be more flexible in quickly responding to market trends, such as electrification. Now, is electrification a trend, or is that going to be the long-term play? And it's seeking to still grow here in the United States and new markets like Australia. I think having all-wheel drive standard is going to be an allure for a place like Australia, known for their Outback, and of course, the Subaru Outback. Remember those commercials back in the day? Osaki said, "We at Subaru want to survive the age of electrification by being nimble. We will put various systems in place while focusing on flexibility and expansion." Well, they just recently announced that they're not going to be investing in plug-in hybrids at all. And in fact, we don't have any Subaru hybrids currently on the market. They had the plug-in hybrid Crosstrek, but they're not going to bring that back with the new generation. But they will be doing normal hybrids and using Toyota's electrification technology for that. We just don't know when, how, which vehicles, etc. In addition, Subaru of America announced Tom Dole will step down as CEO and assume a role as corporate advisor at the company's U.S. headquarters in Camden, New Jersey, effective April 1st. And according to Osaki, they are still facing huge chip shortage issues, and they can't really focus on Japan, Asia, Australia, and Canada at this point in time. Fun fact about Osaki, he says one of his pastimes is eating ramen. I could definitely have some ramen with that dude. Subaru said Osaki is charged with devising a new midterm plan to follow the 5-year roadmap formulated in 2018 that ends this year. Osaki has a lot in his ramen bowl to figure out what he's going to do, because even in our main battleground, the US, it is still unclear and hard to determine how electrification will go from here. And there is nothing we can do about uncertainty, so we will try to respond to changes in the market environment flexibly. Other than using Toyota's hybrid technology, Subaru will be building their own EV assembly lines in their Gunma plant over in Japan. They have no plans on building EVs here in North America, which is not going to spell well for them with the EV tax credit. But they may be banking on their collaboration with Toyota. I would not be surprised out of the Kentucky plant that some of those EVs rolling off the assembly line in 2025 are Subaru models, just kind of like badge engineered, if you know what I mean. Makes a lot of sense. Look, Honda's doing it with General Motors, so I think we're gonna see more and more of this in the next few years before these before these manufacturers can build their own EVs on their own assembly lines. Now, with the chip shortages getting seemingly a little bit better, I think the sales will go up. But what can Subaru do on their end? What can Mr. Osaki do on his end in order to make Subarus more tantalizing for the customer? Well, I think they have a very low barrier of entry with the cost. So that's one of their natural advantages, especially as going into a recession here, or just with economic uncertainty for the global environment. Subarus with a low price tag should do well for them. And they're also the cheapest cars you can get with all-wheel drive. But their designs lately are definitely leave us wanting. The new WRX with all the unfinished painted wheel arches and rear bumper just leaves a sour taste in a lot of our mouths. The unavailability of the Lavorg wagon here in our market is a gut punch, because that's probably Subaru's best vehicle. And I would love for Subaru also to bring back the Baja, have a small little pickup truck to compete against the Santa Cruz. I think people would absolutely adore that little pickup truck. And like their big brother Toyota, they need to be hybridizing all of their models. Maybe not the BRZ, that's different. I think that would help their CVT situation right now. I don't think Subaru's ever going to go back to a traditional automatic transmission, unfortunately. And their CVTs aren't bad. Like, I haven't heard anything bad about their reliability. It's just a CVT. Meh. Let me know what you guys would want from Subaru in the coming years. They won't have their own identity with battery electric vehicles till at least 2027. And I honestly think hybridizing their lineup is going to be the most beneficial to the customer in the near term, and for Subaru to draw interest back in their products, maybe for the first time in a while for new customers of Subaru vehicles. It's a new month, and so we're going to switch over to sales. We're going to talk about February and January sales, see which companies are doing well, which are not. Toyota and Honda sales are slipping, which was not that wasn't my expectation. I thought things would be getting better at this point with the chip supply, but Ford, Hyundai, and Kia and Subaru are advancing. Now, what's interesting is fleet deliveries are raising again an uninterested retail market. And I think a large part of that is probably because of the interest rates going on right now and just the overall increase of cost of just about everything in our daily lives. All right, so Ford jumped 22% in February, while Hyundai, Kia, and Subaru advanced for the 7th straight month. Toyota has dropped 2 straight months now. LMC Automotive said, given the headwinds of sky-high average transaction prices, lingering inventory shortages, and economic uncertainty, February's results surpassed expectations and can be considered an encouraging outcome. And fleet sales are at the highest percentage at 19% of total volume since March of 2020. And no surprise, Ford is up largely due to their F-Series pickup trucks, up 22%. Explorer sales doubled, and Maverick pickup volume jumped 89%. So it looks like they're finally able to get that little affordable hybrid pickup truck. And then you also get in the turbo bike out there to the masses, which is good to see. Sales slipped 2.4% at Toyota last month, with volume off 3.6% for Toyota, but rose 6.1% at Lexus, snapping a stretch of a 1-year monthly declining sales at the luxury brand. So the Lexus brand has hit their rock bottom. They're going to be recovering. That's good to see. Camry was up 55%, Corolla up almost 8%, RAV4 down 13%, 4Runner down 50%. That one doesn't make a lot of sense to me because it's so ancient. So I don't know what's going on there. Maybe they're getting ready to switch production over there in Japan for whatever reason. I'm not quite sure. And Highlander was off 18%. That makes sense to me, probably because they're getting ready to start building the Grand Highlander, and we know that's going to take away from the normal Highlander volume. That's just my guess, though. Combined sales of the Tundra and Tacoma pickup trucks rose 20%. All right, so for the first 2 months of the year, we're just going to be looking at this far right column, and this column is a typo. This just means 2 months in 2022. This is 2 months of 2023. So here, we're going to focus on these numbers here. So Ford up about 12%. Lincoln's even up a few percentages as well. Acura finally getting some relief here, up 32%. Honda up 3.2%, combined up 6% for American Honda. Genesis having a pretty strong first couple months here at 14% up. Hyundai at 9%. Kia, though, absolutely slaying it. We'll go to the Kia sales here in a little bit. We'll go over to their press room and talk about what they're doing so well. But up 23%. No one else is up that. I guess Acura is up that high, but this is a mass market brand that we're talking about here. Very, very impressive. Hyundai and Kia total up about 16%. Mazda up 9%. Subaru up 1.3%. Lexus finally getting there. We already talked about Toyota in general. So overall, the sales market is up 4.5%. Let's head over to the Honda and Acura newsroom where they're going to break down each model one by one. The Accord is up 7.6% as we welcome in the new model. The Civic is kind of flatlined, which is not good because the Civic should be it should be selling at a much higher volume than what it currently is. Clarity and Insight, rest in peace. CRV up 26%. I'm seeing them everywhere already down here in South Florida. More turbo CVT than hybrid, but they're out there. HRV down 40%, which doesn't surprise me. Remember last year, the new HRV wasn't out at this point, and they were making those in much higher volume than the current one that shares a lot with the Civic, for example, or should I say the redesigned Civic. Honda Odyssey up 90%, Passport pretty much neutral, Pilot down 6%, Ridgeline up 34%. It's all Ridgeline today in traffic, and Acura is up 32%. What is going on here? Well, ILX, rest in peace. Well, we have Integra sales for the first time, and they're selling more Integras now than they were ILXs a year ago. A couple ILXs still sold here in the first couple months of 2023, down 99%. All right, NSX, they sold a few more of them. They actually sold 4 as that vehicle, rest in peace as well. And the TLX is up 75%. Not the volume they would want, but 2,000 units is much better than 1,200 units the last couple months of 2022, for example. MDX plus 28%. That is their cash cow. That's their biggest vehicle, their best-selling vehicle. But the RDX really suffering still, down 10% compared to last year. So Acura having a resurgence here thanks to the Integra and also thanks to the MDX and TLX finally getting a bounce back here. All right, going over to Mazda's newsroom, their graph is a little bit confusing. Over here on the left, we have month to date. So that'll be looking at just February and then year to date, which is looking at January and February so far. So if we look at what's going on with the Mazda 3, this year is down, well, this month was down 4%. But if you look at how bad January was for them, they're down 31%. But things look to be getting better, especially for the Mazda 3 sedan in terms of volume. All right, moving on to Mazda 6, rest in peace. We don't need to talk about that. MX-5 Miata. We're seeing finally some relief here in production. Last year, there just were seemingly no MX-5s to go around. If we look at the year to date so far, up 60%. Overall for the MX-5, which includes the hardtop and the soft top. All right, moving to the CX-30, plus 112% on the year. That is incredible. CX-5 down 24%. Not sure what's going on there. Maybe it's because they have some CX-50 volume to supplement that. You know, it actually gets kind of close because if you add the 5,700 to the 22.1, we're getting close to the 29,000 total CX-5s that we had last year. CX-9, rest in peace, but they're still selling well here. Maybe people are getting some good deals on the CX-9 before it is replaced by the CX-90 here in just a few months. MX-30, well, they sold a couple last month. It's down 96% on that 100-mile range EV. And overall, cars are down 22%, largely because of the Mazda 3 being down, but their SUVs are up about 15%. So Mazda overall up about 9% so far this year. Now, Hyundai and Kia are absolutely slaying it. They're stealing market share, especially from the Japanese right now. So Hyundai Motor America reports record-breaking February. Sales up 9% for best February sales ever. All-time best ever records for Elantra N, as well as the Santa Fe Hybrid. Accent, rest in peace, down year-to-date, down 98%. Elantra up 60% on the year. Ioniq 5 up a couple percent there. They're kind of just restricted by the sheer volume that they can make on those EVs. Kona up 26% as we get ready for the new redesign. Nexo down 17% fuel cell, you know. Palisade down 2%. Santa Cruz up 1%. Saw one of those on the way to dropping my kids off at school, or it was actually going to swim today. I don't remember, but I saw one today on the streets. They're definitely recognizable. Sonata up 52%. Tucson is a wash. Veloster, rest in peace. And Venue, that very affordable little crossover wagon thingy, up 11%. Kia, though, is absolutely slaying it as well. 7th consecutive monthly record for the fast-growing Kia brand. 24% increase over the same period last year, and 5 Kia models reached best ever February total. So what we have on the top is the new Sportage, and I put the Sportage in the S tier of compact crossovers, right? These things you get bigger every year, but it's in the S tier of compact crossovers, up there with the CR-V as well as the RAV4. And I think I had one other on S tier as well, but oh yeah, the CX-5 was up in S tier. So for whatever reason, Kia never gives us percentages. So we just have to compare here what's going on. We're just going to look at year to date so far. We want to see this volume on the left be bigger than the volume on the right. And the EV6 definitely had a rough month of February, selling about half of the February that they did last year for the all-electric little crossover hatchback wagon thing. 2,400, they're still outpacing what they sold last year if you include January. Kia Rio is crushing it, up about 1,000 units. Forte, up about 5,000 units. Great to see affordable cars being more available. Kia K5, the sedan. So even though we saw that the Sonata was up 50%, the K5 is down about 50%. All right, the Stinger, rest in peace. About half the volume as it was last year. Kia Soul, on the positive, up about 1,000 units. Nero, new redesigned Nero. Check out my plug-in hybrid review of the Nero. Really enjoyed that little wagon hatchback thing. Very roomy compared to, let's say, the Prius. It is selling better than it did last year, so that's good to see with the redesign. I saw the redesigned one out in Carlsbad when I was driving the new Lexus RZ. So the Neros are out there. The new ones are out there on the market. I do see them also down here in South Florida. All right, Kia Seltos up as well. So the subcompact crossover is a strong market. Seltos is finally seeing that volume hit higher numbers. And look at the Sportage. Holy smokes, they're up 10,000 units versus where they were last year with the Sportage. And like rightfully so. I said that the new Sportage, especially the Sportage Hybrid, is an incredible buy. Sorento is positive a couple thousand units. Telluride is up a couple thousand units, which is interesting because the Palisade was down a couple percentage points. And then the Carnival, they're finally able to get some volume out on the Carnival, up a couple thousand units. So overall, Kia, check this out, has sold 112,000 vehicles so far. They're not that far away from Honda at 147,000. When you add Hyundai and Kia together, gets you about to, I don't know, 221,000, something like that. It's not that far off of what Toyota is doing at 251,000. Gotta love the competition. I love the heat that the Koreans are putting on the Japanese because it's going to force them to get especially better with their electric vehicles. But yes, it's very exciting times in the automotive industry. Sales are seemingly recovering, especially for the Korean brands, not necessarily for the Japanese automakers. A little bit for Subaru and Mazda, but Honda and Toyota still struggling with the chip crunches out there. And if you enjoyed today's content, hit the like button. I would really appreciate it. It helps out the video, helps out the channel. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Take care of yourselves and peace.